Hi friends, welcome back to my channel Testing Mini Bytes. I am your friend Amudan Shaktivil, and today we will see how we can integrate IMethodInterceptor listener with our framework. Okay, before doing that, we'll also see how we can fix some of the issues that we are already having in our framework, and after fixing those issues, we'll get to the integration with IMethodInterceptor. Again, what this IMethodInterceptor can achieve is we can get the control at the runtime to disable certain test cases. Again, if you are directly coming to this video, you have to watch the listeners video. I will leave the link in the description where I have explained in detail about these listeners. Okay, please do watch that before heading further. And then we'll also see how we can get the values from the Excel sheet, and then feed it to our I method interceptor. Again, if you don't understand this, it's okay, we'll see that in the video. And then we'll also see what are the important points we need to remember when using I method interceptor. That's all. Without wasting much time, I'll get into the Eclipse workspace. First, we'll fix all the issues that we are having in our framework. Okay, the first thing. Okay, if you notice, we are just attaching the failure screenshot. Okay, let me try to run the test again and then show you the error. What is the problem? Okay, suppose if a test is getting failed, we are just mentioning it is failed, but I'm not attaching any exception logs so that for future I can use that to fix the issue. Okay, if I just tell it's failed, it's really hard for someone to debug the issue, right? So it's always good practice to attach the exception log. So this there is one of a test that failed because of the invalid credentials, and if you notice, we are just telling it is failed, and we have attached the screenshot. Though I can understand this is because of invalid credentials, but this is not the case always. So I always need to attach the exception log. What I mean by exception log is, if you notice, if I go to my test ng results, okay, and the failed test, here it is telling waiting for the presence of element located by id welcome. It is actually waiting for a welcome, but the welcome is not visible because there is an invalid credentials and login was not successful. So I want to attach this particular message into my uh, report, external report, right? So we are not going to come and see the console logs or your Jenkins log if you're running from Jenkins, right? So it's always a good practice to attach the logs for further debugging. So fail, I'm just marking it as a fail, and then I'm also telling result dot get method dot get throwable. There is something called as get throwable. Okay, I think you don't have to go to the method get throwable dot toString. Okay, this will get me the first line of the message. Okay, so waiting for presence located by id will come, this first line it will get me. But if you want the whole stack trace, okay, if you also want the whole track stack trace, this particular line numbers and base page explicit wait factory, all these line numbers, then you can also get use another thing to get to fetch all those details. So results dot get throwable, and there is another method that is called as get stack trace. This will return you stack trace of element array. So it will put all the things in an element array, stack trace element array, and it will return to you. Okay, but I want to convert this into a string because I can only log a string in my external report, right? So how to convert an array to a string? Okay, there is a method arrays dot to string. Okay, there is a to string method which can help me to convert an array into a string. Okay, I'm using these two things. Good, this is one of the issue that we fixed. That's also fine. Apart from that, if you go to the external logger, okay, external logger is a class, okay, which conveys any other user who is using the framework, it's going to log something into the external report. But if you notice, there is a method called get base 64 image which has nothing to do with the external logger, right? Though we are actually internally using it, we are just keeping it here just for our easy usage. Okay, but this should not be here. In our framework we have a rule. um, we need to keep all the things at the right place, right? So this is not the right place or the best fit. Okay, it can still work, but this is not the best fit. Someone new coming to the project cannot understand that this is here. Okay, so your class needs to be self-explanatory on what the elements or methods it can hold. Okay, so this is not actually correct. So what I can do, I can also move this where I can move. So I cannot move to constants, I cannot move to driver, I cannot move to enums, so I can move here. So there is something called as utils package. Okay, it already has two methods, JSON utils and property utils. I cannot keep this method in any of those, so better I'll create a new class. Again, creating a new class is not a tough task, guys. It's actually a good practice to put everything in a separate place so that you can easily go find, debug, fix the issues. So I'm creating something called as screenshot utils, which actually speaks what it gonna hold, right? So I am making it as final so that nobody can extend this. Okay, I don't want my external logger to extend this, and then for just for the sake of using this method, I don't want them to extend this, because there is no inheritance relationship. There is no inheritance relationship between my external logger and screenshot utils. That's the reason I want this class to be final. Okay, I don't want someone to create a object for this class outside this, because I don't have any instance method at all. So better I use a private constructor to stop everyone from creating the object. Okay, and I can just copy paste from there. Okay, I don't have to type everything. Okay, cut it and paste it here. Once you do that, okay, you can reference this from here. Okay, screenshot utils dot. That's it. Even though we are calling using class name and method name, but this is a good approach, right? Everyone can understand where this is located, and if there is a change, they can easily fix this. Good. So I think all the issues are now resolved, and let me go to the listener class again. See, my solar lint is not happy. It is telling me something. Okay, and add a nested command explaining why this method is empty. Okay, because see, you are leaving this method as empty because you don't have any usage, but someone new coming to the project cannot understand why this is empty. Even though my Java compiler is happy, that my Java compiler is happy because I have implemented these two, and I have given some implementation for all the abstract methods. Either it is an empty implementation, my Java compiler is happy, but Sonarent is telling it is not a good practice. So what I'm doing, so I'm doing like this. For now, you can add some comments. Okay, for now, we are not using this. Maybe we use this later, something like this. Okay, though this is not a good command, but still something. Okay, uh, we are, here you can mention we are having just one test in our suite. So when I mean one test, it's a test in my test tag in my uh, testng.xml, not the test cases. Okay, so we don't have any special implementation as of now. Okay, it can change later, but for now we don't have any implementation. So I'm adding this as well here. So now even my sonar rent is happy. Okay, now we have fixed most of the issues. Let's try to run the test and see whether everything is working fine. Again, guys, I'm just making use of SonarLint to write a better clean code. If you are using any other particular tools or plugins you are using, you please leave the tool name in the section so that I can also learn about it, and then contribute to the community and let others know. Okay, now the test got failed, but this time it should print all the logs. Good. If you notice, it has printed why it is waiting for the presence of element located by welcome, and it also printed me the stack trace. Okay, so this is all we want to do. Again, if it is not looking good, you can also do some tweaking to the string, and then separate them in a form of separate lines, and then log into your reports. That's okay. But for now, we will leave it here, and then we will do the better optimization later. Okay, now we'll go to the main agenda, IMethodInterceptor integration. So I'll go here again. This is the I'll open the IMethodInterceptor that we already created. Okay, convert listeners. I have created method interceptor during my listeners class, and then I have explained all these things. To quickly summarize, this is I am creating a class which implements IMethodInterceptor, which has a method intercept, which will accept, okay, which is accepting the methods list of method instance and test context. Okay, what this method can do, this intercept, these methods contain what are all the test cases you want to run. Okay, now it's giving you the option whether you want to run all those methods or you want to remove some methods that I have to run. So once you add or remove the methods, return the methods that you want to run by this test ng suite. Okay, that's what it's telling. Okay, I give you three methods. Okay, this is what you are going to run. If you want to remove one method, okay, remove it and return me the remaining two. If you want to add a new method, okay, test 3 comma test 4, if you want to add a new method, okay, then add it and return me that. Okay, so I just want a list of I method instance. That's what it's going to do. In our example, we saw we stored all the details about our first test case in one map, second test case in another map, and we stored all these things in a list. Then we iterated the list and the methods. This is the methods, right? All the methods that the test engine going to run. I'm iterating these two things and checking when there is a match. When there is a match, then we are adding this to the result. This is a list that I'm going to return. So I'm adding to the list and I'm returning that particular list. So this list at the end will have only few test cases that I want to run. But the only change that I'm going to do here, I'm loading all these test 1 test 2 values manually. Instead, what I'm going to do, so what of the data that we have hard coded here, okay, in the form of map for the test data, test 1 details in a form of map, test 2 details in a form of map, we're going to fetch this from Excel sheet and we're gonna construct this list of map at the end. So that's what we want to do, but this time we're going to read it from Excel sheet. If you notice, I also have created that Excel sheet without wasting much time, because I don't want to create this here and make the video a little lengthy. So this is a simple Excel sheet. I have created a folder called Excel and then created a test data sheet. Okay, this test data sheet is having a name as test name, the columns, okay, the headers, the test description, execute, priority, and count. Okay, so the test name, okay, whatever I mentioned here should exactly match with the test, the test name that you have created in your test folder. Okay, and the test description, if you want to add a custom description to your test, you can also do that here. Okay, because what of the report that we are generating now, it's actually having just login logout test as the report name. But I don't want to do that. I want to customize this with this particular value. Okay, you can do that. But the main purpose is, if someone is choosing execute as yes, this particular test will be run at the runtime. Okay, why we are doing this? Because our manual testers or product owners or whoever who wants to run the test can simply come to this particular Excel sheet and then change this to yes or no. If they want to execute certain test, they will choose yes, otherwise they will choose no. Again guys, if you feel my video a little slow, please change the playback settings to 1.5 or 2. Thanks for understanding. And the priority is the, and in what order you want to run your particular test. Again guys, priority is something that I have added these two fields just to tell we can also you know send a few more values to the I method interceptor. It is not recommended to set the priority and other stuff, because your test need to run in whatever the priority you run. Okay, so that your test needs to be independent of another test. Okay, so whatever the order you run your test, it should not matter. It should always run without depending on any other test. Again, the invocation count is the, suppose if you want to run the same test 5 times, okay, you can do that. Again, when we have data provider, I don't think we have a need to run this invocation count. Again, I have added these two fields just for showing us a demo, but if you don't want, you can also remove that. But all the three things that we are interested is these three. Okay, now let me go to the workspace and then see. I have my src test java. It says that I have orange hrm test. Okay, for now I will not use data provider. Okay, let's forget about the data provider for now, and I'll create one more test. Okay, this is just for our understanding. Even though these two tests are doing same login and logout, for now I want to name it as new test. Okay, so for the first condition, this is the important condition that you need to remember. The login logout test, the test name here and the test name here needs to be a match. Okay, this is how we are going to develop. It's how we are going to follow. Okay, the new test here is actually matching, should match with this new test. Okay, so this is the first condition. Again, you can add your custom description. There is no hard and fast rule what you need to follow, but this is just a whatever you want to give, you can give here. Good. But the important field is execute. If you choose yes, it has to run. If you choose no, it should not run. That's some ultimate goal. Let me save the Excel sheet. And if you also notice, the sheet name is run manager. I have named it as run manager, and the test data sheet name is test data.xlsx. Good. Now let's go here. Okay, I want to save it, yes, obviously. Okay, now we have two test methods. Okay, if I run these two tests will be ran. Okay, now let me create a new method interceptor here. Okay, I have already one listener, but I am creating another listener. Okay, let me name it as method interceptor, like how we usually name this. Okay, again, if you want to give a different name you can do that, but give something that is more meaningful. Method interceptor. Okay, and I want to implement I method interceptor. Good. Now if you notice, I have to add this implemented method, and I need to return the list at the end. Okay, list of methods that I want to run. So if you notice, I'll just copy paste this whole thing. Okay, maybe I have to read it from my Excel sheet, right? So maybe what I can do, I'll also create a new package, because I cannot write the Excel reading code here, it will make my code clumsy. So what I can do, I'll create one more class in the utils package, which actually gonna deal with my Excel utils. Okay, okay, again, I don't want someone to extend this, and I don't want people to create object for this. Okay, outside the class. So let me create it as a private constructor. Good. Now I want to expose a method that's going to return uh, this method itself. Again, guys, I can close the remaining fields, okay, so that I don't get confused. Okay, here I just want at the end the okay, just a minute, guys. I just want a list of map at the end, right? I just want to show you. Sorry, I have closed this. So if you notice, at the end we want a list of map of string comma string. This is the thing that we want at the end. So even here I can give that as the result, list of map string comma string. I want to read all the details, store it in this list collection which holds a map. Okay, and then I want to return. So get here test details be the method name that I'm going to choose. Good. Now control shift and O, you import it from Java util list. Okay, good. Now I let it be, let it throw some exception, it will ask you to throw some return statement. That's okay for now. Okay, now we have to write a code to do all these things. So first thing, I need to read from Excel. So file input stream. Okay, fs new file input stream. Okay, I'm going little fast, guys, so that you can, again, I need to give the path where my Excel sheet is. Okay, my Excel sheet is located inside src test resources inside Excel folder, right? Maybe I will quickly create a constant for this, so that, okay, let me create a constant private static final string Excel path. Okay, so this is almost same as your resources path. Okay, plus sr sorry Excel slash test data dot xlsx. Good. Again, I will create a getter method for this. Go to source, and then generate getter set as, click on OK. Okay, this is not, you can have it there, but I'll prefer having it in the right place. Okay, get Excel path. This is going to give me Excel path. Okay, so the framework constants dot get Excel path. Good. Now this is done. Again, it will throw some exceptions, that for now it's okay. And then workbook, I want to create an XSSF workbook. Again, guys, if you haven't watched my data provider video, please watch that, where I have explained what is this input stream, why we need to, how we are connected to the workbook and all. Okay, again, I don't have the knowledge, the XSSF workbook Apache API jar files is not added. What I can do, I have those dependencies already with me, so I'll just copy them. Okay, and I'll come here and then paste it. Okay, guys, I have it in a notepad, so I can directly come and copy it here. So this is a list of dependencies. Anyways, I leave this whole thing for you at the end, so that you can, so please use the same Apache Commons library what I am following. Okay, if you are using a different version, you may have some issues. Okay, so please try to use the same thing, so that you don't face any issues. Control A and Control I, so the alignment is good. Now let me save it. Good. I think everything is solved now. Okay. Okay. Excel utils. Let me go here. Now let me type. Okay. I got the XSF workbook now. Workbook. New XSF workbook. And then pass the input stream. Okay. To this. And guys, we are just create identifying this workbook, whatever the workbook that we told the test data.xlsx in this particular machine. Okay, that's what we are doing in these two steps. Okay, you can, it will ask you to add a try catch block, maybe surround with try catch. Okay, and surround with try catch. And guys, see the try catch is causing my code to look little clumsy, right? Or I can hold this all of these things together and I can remove this try block. Okay, control I. Okay, now if it is throwing file not found, it will call this, it will throw IO exception, it will call this. Okay, that's good. Next step, I want to create a sheet. Okay, so XSS of sheet. Okay, I need to find the which sheet I want to operate in this particular workbook. Okay, workbook dot get sheet. You can use index, but here I'm using string name, string of the sheet name. So what is the sheet name is run manager, right? So run manager. But if you notice, this is again a hard coding. I'm doing a little bit of hard coding here. What you can do, I can create a simple local variable for now. We can do sheet name equal to, and you can use this, and then you can just pass the variable here so that it will be easy for us to use. Okay, good. Now we get into the sheet. Now we want to fetch the row and the column. Okay, maybe I'll open this for my understanding as well. Okay, so this is the three rows that we want to fetch and then store it in the form of hash map. The hash map needs to have something like this. Suppose I need to have a list. Okay guys, I need to have a list that holds two hash map. One hash map will hold details about test name, login, logout test, test description, this particular value, execute s, priority 1, count 1. So this whole thing needs to be in one particular hash map. And the second hash map should contain the details about this and this. Okay, and then I need to hold these two hash maps into one particular list. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, again guys, if you have not watched my data provider section, please watch that where I have explained how to do all these things. Okay, so first let me create a map. Okay, string, string. Okay, map, let it be null. Okay, I will use it. So I have to iterate in my row side as well as column side. So I have to iterate this way as well as this way. Suppose if they are keep adding more tests, I cannot hard code. So I need to find it dynamically. Okay, so I have to iterate column wise as well as row wise. Okay, good. For iterating row wise and column wise, I want the last row number. Okay, so int last row num. Okay, equal to, okay, sheet dot get last row num. Same way, int column number, the last column number, maybe last column number is she dot get. Again, there is no last column number directly, so what I can do, get the row, 0th row, and get the last cell number. Okay, if it, okay, what I'm doing, I don't know, there is no direct method to find the column number, last column number. So what I'm doing, I'm just tweaking a little bit. So I'm finding the first row and finding the last column number of the first row, so that it will be same. Okay, if the header is until e column, then all the values will be until e column. So that's a little bit of understanding that we can have, right? That's what I'm doing. Okay, once I did this, so I can now iterate. So for int, where I need to start, again, I'm not interested with zero, guys. This I don't want to use it in my test. Okay, test name, test description, execute, and all I don't want to use. This is the 0th index, this is the first index. So I want to start from I equal to 1. Okay, okay, let me go to the workspace. So I equal to 1, I less than last row number. Okay, I plus plus. I want to run another for loop in j equal to 0, because even the test case name I'm interested. Even the a column I'm interested because I want the name of the particular test. I want to do some comparison. So I need this. So I need to start j from 0. So j is until last column number, j plus plus. Okay. Once you do this, now I have to construct a hash map here. Okay. For for every internal for loop, okay, I want to create a hash map. So what I can do, I have initialized this here, right? Okay, I will do the initialization here. New hash map. Okay. Again, from Java 8, you don't have to mention this, because if you have already mentioned here, it can automatically understand what can be the generic scale. Okay, so you don't have to mention that. Okay, now I created a new hash map. Okay, okay, I need to create a new hash map here. Okay, then only whenever a new for loop is getting started, it will create a new hash map. Okay, string key, I want to fetch the key value. So my key value is always going to be this particular row. Okay, for the first map, this is the key and this is the value. For the second map, this is the key and this is the value. So it's going to remain the same. So what I can do, c dot get row 0 dot get cell j, because j by column side it will keep iterating. Okay, dot get string cell value, which will actually fetch me the content from this things. Okay, string value c dot get row I, because the first time the I value will be 1, so I need to fetch the value of this is the value, right? Value for the first test case. Second test case, this is the value, but still the key is this. Okay, so it is I, and get cell of j. Again guys, video may be a little slow, please change the playback settings to 1.5 or 2. Okay, so now I found the key and value. Now I will put it in the hash map. To put it in the hash map, I need to use key and value. Okay, good. Now we have constructed one hash map for the first test case. Okay, when let's try to go step by step. Okay, now for int I equal to 1, I less than last row number, I plus plus, j equal to 0, j less than last column number, j plus plus. So now we will see what is happening. Okay, we constructed a new hash map, which means we now have a hash map. Okay, which can store some values into this. Okay, which is now new, it has no values inside this. What I'm telling, c dot get 0th row and j value also 0. So 0 comma 0, which is this. So it will fetch the test name and put it in the key. Now what is the value? Value will be I is 1, this is 0. So 1 comma 0, the login logout test. These two things will be the key and value pair, which will be stored in this particular hash map. Now the j will get incremented. Okay, now it will read get cell of 2. Okay, 0th row second column. So it will come here, it will fetch this. Sorry, j is 1 now, so it will fetch the test description as the key, and the value will be this. Okay, next the j loop will increase. Again, this will fetch this will fetch this will fetch this. So this two rows will be stored in a form of hash map. Okay, into this particular hash map. Okay, all these values, this is map 1, now it's stored, done. Okay, now after all these things, what I need to do, once this is generated, I will just add this whole thing into a list. Okay, again, I haven't declared the list, I'll also declare the list. So what is the list going to hold? List of map string comma string. Okay, that's what I'm going to store. Let me name it as list. New array list. Okay, again guys, the generics you don't have to mention if you're using Java 1.8 or above. Okay, and here I'm just adding list to add whatever the map that I have created so far. I'm just adding it here. So that, and the next iteration, what will happen? Okay, let me remove this. The next iteration, what will happen? It will create a new map. It will store all the details about the second test case and add it to this particular list interface. Sorry, list collection. Okay, so now we have this. Okay, everything looks fine. Okay, instead of null, I just need to return this list. Okay, now what it is telling something, list cannot be resolved to a variable because it's just local to this type block. So what I have to do, I just need to create it here. Okay, so that it can be accessed by everyone. Okay, so let me remove this. Good, now you should not throw an error. Okay, still it's showing, it's telling initialize variable, that's okay. I'll initialize it. Any more error? No, all good now. Everything looks fine. Okay, for me. Again, there is a problem, guys. If you are opening an input stream, okay, if you are opening an input stream, if there is some exception, okay, if there is some exception, you need to close the input stream. Okay, consider you are having a farm with you. Okay, you don't have water, okay, with you. So what you are doing, you are lending it from your neighbor. So he has given you the connection, he has created a stream and has supplied you a lot of water. Okay, you face some exception, it's always good practice to close it. So I cannot close it here. I don't know whether it will be file not find exception thrown or the IO exception thrown. So what I can do, whether sometimes the exception can, sometimes it will not be there. So what I can do, I can create a finally block, and then if, okay, if this file input stream, okay, suppose if I directly close this, okay, fs dot close, okay, I'm closing this directly. But what my Java compiler is telling, hey, you are trying to close this directly, but it while closing also it can cause you a lot of exception. So what you can do, you have to throw it, add throws. Okay, I will not throw the statements, I'll use a try catch here. Okay, I'm catching it again. My Java compiler is telling there is again problem, you need to initialize this. Okay, because you're not initializing. Okay, I'm initializing that as well, that's fine. So what now, Java compiler is happy, you're doing everything good. But my solar lint is not happy. It is telling a null pointer exception can be thrown if fs is nullable here. Okay, okay, so due to some reasons your stream is already getting closed. So what it can tell you, if it is already closed, it can throw you a null pointer exception because it's already closed. So what I'm doing, if objects, doing a non-null check when it is not null. Okay, okay, which one, the fs is not null. If fs is not null, I want to close that. Okay, otherwise leave it. Okay, but this is not a good practice. Again, guys, there is a better way to do this whole thing. Okay, there is something called as try with resources. Okay, try with resources. I'll explain, this is not a right time to explain, but this is just a placeholder that we need to improve this particular code because this code looks so big. Okay, this method is doing so much of things, but we need to optimize. But this is not the right time for us. Now we need to achieve what we want to do. Okay, now this particular method is ready. So from my method interceptor, okay, from my method interceptor, I can just call this. Okay, what is that, excel utils. Okay, get test details. This will give me a list. So I'm too lazy now, so string a equal this, and then this guy will tell me what I want to change. Okay, so this is very easy, right? You use Eclipse IDE to suggest it and then you change it, right? Good. Now we have a list. Now we want to iterate this list with this particular methods, and then we have to do this operation. Okay, so you need to run two loops. Maybe I'll copy it from there. Again, guys, if you haven't watched that, please do watch that. So just copy it, the whole thing, and place it here. Okay, I don't want to type everything manually. So I'll also create one more list of method instance, which I already created there. Okay, list of method instance which is called as result, new array list. Again, I don't have to mention the generics there. Everything looks fine now. Okay, instead I need to return result. Okay, what I'm doing, so this methods will have all the methods that I need to run. So what I'm checking, so I'm trying to check methods dot size. I'm iterating method dot size, all the methods, the test methods inside this particular array list, and then in this particular array list, once I iterate these two things, I'm just checking if the names are matching. Okay, if the names are matching, once the names are matching, I also want to check one more condition. Okay, If the execute statement is yes, then only I want to add. Okay, if the execute statement is yes, then only I want to add. So if methods dot get, okay, get I dot get method, okay, okay, sorry, I want to get this particular guy, list dot get j get, I want to get the execute. If this is, if this is equals ignore case, if it is equal ignore case of s, okay, then only I want to do all this thing. Okay, control a, control I. Here I am setting just the invocation count. You can also set the priority, priority, set priority. Good guys, I think we have done what we have to do. The only thing we have done is, okay, this methods, for example, it's having two values now. Okay, test, so login logout test, login and logout test, and new test. This is the two values that it has. Now what I am doing at the runtime, I am finding which test case I want to run. Okay, now if it is yes, if I have yes here, okay, then I want to run that. Okay, let me save this. This is yes. Okay, everything looks fine. I'm setting the invocation count and priority as well. You can also set the description. Okay, maybe I forgot that. Get, get I dot get method dot set description. So whatever the description that I fetched, whatever the description that I fetched, okay, from the Excel sheet, I'm opening it here. Description. Okay, I think the name is test description. Okay, I think everything looks fine so far. Let's try to run the test and then see. Now our ultimate aim is, we have added only one which is having yes. That means only the login and logout test will run. The new test should not run. That is our expectations, because that's what we have coded. Let's see. I don't know whether it will work. Okay, but most importantly, I need to tell my test ng there is a new listener now. So it has to listen to this listeners.listener class com.listeners. I have another listener called method interceptor. Okay, it has to even listen to this. There can be two listeners or multiple listeners, that doesn't matter. Let's try running this test. And guys, I think the video is a little big, but still we have to achieve something like this, so we have to do some efforts from our side. Okay, I think there is some error. Okay, it's good. It's always good that we face some error. Okay, there is no, sorry guys, I think we have while copy pasting from this this particular practice project to this project, we didn't notice that the key that we are using as name here, but actually the key that we are maintaining in our Excel sheet is different. So if you notice our Excel sheet, we are using key name as test name. Okay, this is the test name, so we need to give the exact name, otherwise there will not be a match, so that none of the test cases will be matched. So no test cases ran. Okay, that's what happened before, right? So the key name is very important. This is just a copy paste issue. That's why I normally prefer not to copy paste, but okay, I did it some flow. Okay, that's okay. So I changed this to test name. Okay, when I again tried to run, again it again threw some exception. Okay, I'll also fix that. So one thing is, I have removed the data provider before, but still we are passing the variable names. So what I have done for both the test cases, I have kept the same data provider, and this what this purpose is just return one value. Okay, now it is not returning multiple values. Instead, it is just returning only one value. Okay, so that's what do. So this particular test case and this particular test case both are same, though it's having different names, but it will be ran one time. Okay, since our data provider is just feeding only one set of test data. That's the only change that I have done. And let's try to check whether everything is working fine. Again guys, these are all just one time efforts. Don't think this is we are complicating things. This is just one time efforts, but ultimately see the you know uh, effects it can make to manual testers. Okay, they will not rely on you to run a particular test case. They can just go and update the test case excel sheet. If you notice, we are trying to run both the tests, okay, but actually one test ran at the runtime because we have customized at the runtime. Okay, this is really cool, right? So if you even notice my test data sheet, there are two test cases. Just because I have said no here, it ran. So let's try to skip it now. Okay, let's try to execute new test instead of this particular guy. Okay, and then see. Okay, so I know there is an issue. Let's see that. And then if you notice again, there is no test ran this time as well, because because I have made a mistake while creating the excel utils. If you notice, while iterating till the last row number, okay, I need to iterate till it. Okay, because the last row number will return me 2. Okay, so I previously see, the last row num will return me 2. Okay, get last row number. So previously I was iterating till 1, so there is only one hash map that is generated. Okay, the details about the second hash map was not even passed. Okay, now we have fixed this, and let's try to run this. Okay, these kind of things can always happen. This is what the boundary value analysis, right? This where developers make the, make all the mistakes. So we tend to make these mistakes. That's okay, we are all human at the end, right? So good. I think this time this executed the same test. Okay, but this time the report should tell new test. Okay, that's what the report is telling, new test. Again guys, this new test is something that is I don't really want that. So what I want the description that I have mentioned in my excel sheet. Okay, in the excel sheet I have mentioned some description, right? I want that. So in that way I can directly go here in the to the listener class. Okay, and if you notice, this is where we are creating a, on test start we are creating a test name with the method name. What I can tell, instead of get method name, you can tell get description. You can get the description of that particular method. Okay, and then now let's see what's happening. Again, it's up to you whether you want to give a test name there or your description there in the external reports. I prefer giving description, so it's your wish. But still look at the easiness, like we can easily change it with just a method name, right? So it's as simple as that. Let's wait for the report to load. Good, this time if you see, to check whether this test is executed, one last time what we do, we change both the things. Okay, we edit both the things to yes and check whether both the reports both the tests are running fine. Okay, okay, let's close it and run as test-ng suite. Good, this is very simple, right? I hope you all have learned something new today. Please leave, if you didn't even understand, at least tell me in the comments so that I can even create a new video explain this much better. Okay, your feedback is really important for me to improvise, guys. Thanks a lot. I have already received some feedbacks from people, so it is really helping me to deliver things much better way. So please take your valuable time to leave your feedback. Now we also ran two tests just because we just chose excel sheet. Yes, so if you notice, the description is now displayed. It's much more clean now. Okay, that's all I have to share with you guys today. I'll see you guys in another interesting topic. Thanks for listening to testing mini bytes. If you are new here, please do subscribe to the channel, guys. Thanks a lot.